Hi guys, everybody here I know, so thank you very much for joining me today. The story, I think I've said these things before, so bear with me as I repeat myself, but I met Anton and Lisa by no accidents in Mexico. I met through a Facebook friend I known for a few years, and she introduced me to Anton and Lisa. We hanged out about 3 or 4 times, and Lisa truthfully got the vibes. If we believe Lisa, and I do trust her, she said, "You're an interesting character, I'd love to talk to you about frequency." So, and I also truthfully was going to attend another retreat of someone I dearly love, one of my gurus, and I didn't attend his. And he was filming for TV, and I love TV things, but I wanted to commit to a program and commit to you guys. So I'm glad to be here. Thanks for the opportunity. And I'm going to back a bit of my backstory. So I've obviously been through a lot of trauma and all these things. I find myself with you guys. I honestly awoke in 2016, the summer of 2016, and I think I've told a load of you, I drank my urine because I read a book about it and it said it was amazing. And I was open-minded, and honestly my vibration completely shifted. I became a new person, and something in my soul told me your life will never be the same again. Fast forward to now, I've written 10 books. These books are just official.
Didn't know that.
That is a surprise.
10 books. I've written 10 mini books. Full of spelling mistakes, by the way. What's funny about my books is, we have to judge what the most, I bought this recently, because my dad was yeah, it's the most spelling mistakes per page, but it's really, honestly it is.
So there's a big lesson in that as well, because you know when we procrastinate because we want things to be perfect. Justine, are you listening?
Right,
yeah?
yes.
So there's a big, we all do it, I've done it, we've all done it, right? With a website, with a business idea, with a logo, with books. Particularly, and then we see someone else do it. We're like, oh, you know what? I had that idea. I wish I'd done it because I had that idea. So yeah, there's a big rule in this. It's just do it. Just do it. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Just do it.
Yeah.
But you learn from them.
You're brave.
I've learned from them. Yeah. So 10 books in story. Short story is I've moved from urine, and I love urine. It's always my baby because it's free medicine. But I find myself here finding something. Honestly, this upsets some of the people that know me as the urine guy. This is, and it upsets my people that have been with me from the beginning. It's true, but today.
There's worse things to be called, I think.
Albert. So I find myself today talking to you about frequency because honestly, when my friend, my ex-best friend, he's no longer my friend, showed me this machine, I knew from day one that I tried this machine because I've got good body feel, like I think a lot of you have here. I knew this was grounding me, centering me, put it back in my body, and I'll talk to you about the benefits more as we go along. So, frequency. What does everyone know about frequency? What is frequency to all of you guys? You have to define it in a sentence or two without talking too long.
It's the vibration of the earth.
Vibration of
Vibration.
Of everything. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Not just the earth.
Oh.
Why would it be just the earth? It would be everything. So everything inside us is a frequency. The sound is a frequency. Everyone has a different voice. This solid is a frequency. In fact, we're not even solid. It's all imaginary. Everything's an illusion there. So, Raymond Rife, I'll give you some facts. He was born in 1888. His mum gave him away, so she didn't stick around for the birth, and his dad as well didn't stick around. So he was looked after by his aunt and uncle. From the little I know about him, I try and retrace the history. I think his aunt and uncle looked after him, and he married in 1910-20s a Chinese American who was living in San Diego. And this Chinese American wasn't an ordinary woman. She was, her father was like head of the Chinatown in San Diego. So, and she had 8 brothers and sisters. So he married into a well-bred, expensive, rich Chinese American family, and he fell in love with her. And he was hired in the 1920s as a chauffeur and a mechanic for a man that owned an estate in San Diego. So he went to that, but the man realized soon that this guy, Royal Raymond Rife, was more than just that. He was, I can't even remember the things, but he was like, if I had to call it geek, he was a super geek. He loved making things. So we're going to get to when he made the microscope, the world's first largest living microscope. But before that, he learned how to read the signatures, the light signatures of microbes and bacteria. He did a bit of criminology. He was really good at playing instruments. His weakness was smoking, you'll see in the pictures. Actually, let me pass around some of these things. So, if you want to start, so that's the picture of the man smoking with a cigarette, which isn't great. So yeah, he was a bit of a legend, and he started. Basically, he felt like the microscope at the time was insufficient. He wanted to build a microscope. Because the thing is, at the time, there's something called the electron microscope, and the electron microscope only reads dead bacteria, microbes, and vessels. You can't read living. Now, the analogy is, like, how do you read the personality of a dog if it's dead? The dog's dead, how are you supposed to get a personality? So what I'm saying is, you can't read what's going on with the microbe, the virus, if it's dead. And these electron microbes were extremely powerful, but he needed a microscope that was going to magnify a lot a living cell. Huge difference. So in the 1920s, he went about working and building this. I've actually got pictures to show you. In 1933, he built probably his most famous microscope. So this guy, like I said, he wanted a microscope to build living cells. 1933, he built one of the best. I'm going to pass that round to you on this side. And it's called the Rife microscope number 3. Now that microscope in the picture there weighed 200 pounds. It had 5,000 pieces, and you guys know crystals? It was made, a lot of it was made of quartz crystal. So like the optics, the illuminating light, a lot of the pieces, it's not completely crystal, but it was necessary because crystal does something to the light that diverts it, like a prism, like a rainbow, so that you can understand, and this is the key, he was trying to understand the energetic light signature of each microbe. So we're not talking about the frequency now, we're talking about the light color, because every single microorganism has a light color. The problem is, it's only visible in the ultraviolet scale. So it's visible ultraviolet, we've got visible light we see now, but humans don't see visible ultraviolet. So with his microscope, the whole point was, I'm going to figure out the colors for the typhoid, the typhus, whatever was big at the time. So he went and did that. And the thing that's being passed around with the microscope, his most famous model was in 1933. In fact, that's what put him on the map, because this guy wasn't unknown. He was working hard in the 1920s. What put him on the map was in 1933 with that microscope. And I'll send you some more, because, believe it or not, back in the time, you won't see it now, cures for cancer being on the TV or on newspaper articles, but now, at the time, sorry, there was loads of them. So I should even show you how the papers knew, the papers were talking about him in his microscope very early on. So, there we go.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was the microscope I wrote. He figured out the colour for cancer. So cancer had an ultraviolet spectrum of blue turquoise, from what I remember. Typhus, all the common diseases had a different light signature. And this was, I think, and he knows, the start of trying to work out. First he figured out the colours, the light signature, and next he had a mission in his heart. I want to cure diseases. I created the microscope, I can now see them. So now I want to work out how to kill them. So he knew about frequency, and frequency is everything. Humans don't operate nearly at the same frequency as something that shouldn't be in our body, like a microorganism. It's completely different. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you're thinking, oh, if I go on this machine, why is it only going to kill the frequencies of the bad things inside me and not me? Because humans at optimal level don't operate on the same frequency as the things inside us. So that 1933 was the first famous article. There was a lot of people and a lot of media on him. So it was in the papers, he was getting big. And guess what, guys? We all know when someone gets big, what happens to someone when they get big? What happens now? Right. Would you say try and kill them? Yeah, or, but that's extreme, what's the other things they do? Yes, try and undermine them. So there was a big campaign after he was getting famous to try and undermine him, and they've done a really good job. I don't know if you guys know Lawrence Fishburne. He was a real nasty man, head of the MMA, the American Medical Association, and he did a grand job of it. So yeah, I'm trying to remember this. Oh yes, what's everyone's opinions here on Beauchamp versus Pasteur? I want to backtrack a little bit, it's related to Rife. Does everyone know about Beauchamp and Pasteur, the arguments? The terrain versus the microbe?
Not really.
Okay, so Louis Pasteur promoted a copy of loads of people's work. But I'll pass you some more around actually, because if not, we're not going to get it. Has everyone seen that one? Yes. Okay, so another one. So Pasteur said that every disease under the sun is by a bacteria or a virus. It's an outside influence in, and the inner terrain doesn't matter. And Beauchamp and others said that what you put inside your inner terrain is what calculates what's good and bad. So if you have a good inner terrain, nothing can attack you. And Pasteur was like, no, it's the outside influence. Well, Rife actually proved with his microscope, before he got famous with frequencies and all that he did, he proved that microbes, bacteria actually change depending on the environment. So what he did was, he looked in the microscope, and I missed off a bit, the microscope magnified, the 1933 one, which is being passed around, magnified 60,000 times. And that's a lot. Now, like I said, there was ones that magnified more for dead, but 60,000 is a lot. So you could really see the light colour. And what he did was he put a little bit of acid in the environment of a typhoid or a bacteria, and he'd see it change. Cancer virus would change into something. If it was alkaline, the cancer would go. If it was acid, the cancer would transform into something even worse. So he proved basically what we call pleomorphism under his microscope, and that's another reason why they took him down. Before he even cured disease with frequency, his microscope could prove that Louis Pasteur's ideas were all bullshit. So that was a massive danger. So to explain a bit, so the 1933 microscope that you've seen isn't the only one. He kept building and building on it. And how he did it with frequency is interesting. So first of all, he needs to know the colour of the disease. So he worked out the colour with his massive microscope, and then this guy had the dedication, from what I've read of him, a saint, because he literally sat down for hours on end, going through every single frequency, and frequency measures in hertz. It's measured in cycles per second. So like 1 hertz is 1 cycle per second. 1,000 hertz is 1,000 cycles per second. So this guy he sat down, had the microbe, could examine it live, and he went and he blasted 1 hertz, 2 hertz, 3 hertz, 4 hertz, 5 hertz, 6 hertz, 7 hertz, 8 hertz, all under the microscope, until he found the one that the colour went completely colourless. When the colour of the live bacteria, he made it like, it went colourless, it basically either popped the microbe and destroyed it, or it didn't die as such. It just didn't, like a sperm that has no tail and it can't fly, it can't move. So it didn't need to kill the microbe, you just need to render it useless and it can't move at all. So he did this with every single disease that was known at the time. And by the way, there's loads of diseases. And Anton, is it possible to show something before this?
Sure.
If you go on Google, can I go on Google?
Say, Harry, you know the terrain as
Yes.
well, you know the image of the fish in the bowl?
Yes. Well, that's a good example.
Yeah, because I was going to say, obviously it's got a lily in a bowl, but obviously this is like a fish bowl, right? Some of you will be familiar with an image with the fish. So when you have a goldfish in a bowl, what do you do when the goldfish is a bit sick? You clean the water, right?
You don't clean the fish.
Treat the fish.
Yeah.
You empty the water and clean the water. And this is, yeah, it's quite a strong image when you see the goldfish, don't you? And it's
Absolutely.
terrain theory, right? So that's, yeah, it's kind of a visual to think about cleaning the environment up.
Exactly, and he proved it. Anton, would you just type in on Google to show up on the screen? If you type in VCX,
I can't tell you got the time.
Oh, got it, yeah. I'm just going to show you guys, like, the dedication that this guy served for all of us, because he saved us a lot of time with the Rife machines. So I'm going to show you a list of, I don't know if you guys can see, but on this, come around if you can't for a bit.
Just a sec, just put it in full screen. One sec.
Oh, sorry.
Which one is it?
Yes, the top one, bro. Yeah. So one here is a book that I use, and all Rifers, doesn't matter what Rife, and if you want to scroll down slowly, Anton, you'll see a list of A to Z of every disease under the sun that you know, and every disease that you don't know. Because I've been through this list, and if you guys tell me you know every single disease, you're lying. It's like, there's things here that, like, I don't understand. And to the right, the numbers are the frequency in hertz. So Anton, do you want to highlight just one?
If you want to just zoom in the two fingers,
Yeah.
just, yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Just,
Not very good.
maybe I can go.
So for example, There we go. So aconite, for example, it says to the right 33475611. What does that mean? It means that aconite, he found out the frequency of this disease problem is 3,347 and 5,611. So he went meticulously and discovered there's 1,000 diseases under here, and not just this Rife, but this Rife can handle any of them. I type the number on the left of your issue. So a normal one is acne, for example. Everyone's had acne.
Yeah, and this is all alphabetical, isn't it?
It's all alphabetical. So you guys tell me your issue, and the ones you think I don't know, this book, and Rife. Rife covers it completely. I mean, it's got everything. Aflatoxin, parasites. There's about 50 or 80 parasite programs on this machine. So can you imagine the dedication? In fact, the people that knew Rife, I've read in books about him, said that he would sit for 48 hours, and he would just sit there, have a sip of water, not move, and go through every single freezing, every single colour. Is it popping? Is it not? He was an absolute dedication legend.
Alopecia as well.
Alopecia?
That's only with the A.
Right. Yeah, it's barely got
so
through
many,
any of them.
isn't there?
I don't know about number 34, I was just up with that man.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Oh, wow.
So, another thing that's really important is, can you see there's more than one, can you see guys there's more than one frequency? Because there's more than one. Right, so, I haven't even talked about frequency. So, every single bang thing has a frequency. And Rife figures that everything that, in order to kill it, you have to match the frequency. Everything has an inherent frequency, I have to match the frequency. Because the cells allow in, the cells are more porous, including bad ones, they're more porous to things that are matched the same as them. So basically he was tricking the cells to think it was a brother. Because like cells work together, red blood cells love each other, they bundle together, right? The good side. The bad side too bundle together. So you figured, I'm going to get the same frequency, I'm going to invent a machine where I can invent the same frequency, the cell is going to think it's the same thing, and then I'm going to amplify it until it pops or doesn't want to move, which was absolute genius. And he spent so much time doing this, trying to get my order, like, I will talk a bit about the Rife machine itself and the power, but there were things that he didn't even realise. First of all, these ray tubes, you guys have seen this, yeah? You've seen it grow red. I think most of you have seen it grow red. So, this is a field, he filled it and he discovered this. He discovered that the gases there had to be noble gases. There's only a couple of noble gases, argon, krypton, helium, and 2 others. And these gases would stay in the tube, and when excited by electromagnetic field, we all know about electromagnetic fields. There's bad electromagnetic fields like Wi-Fi, like we've got on now. What they do is they steal electrons and create free radicals. That's not good, that de-ages us, Wi-Fi and all these things. However, on the good side, is the great news for us, there's so many amazing things now that add electrons that have good EMF fields. So they don't steal. And this machine gives you a frequency where it gives you the EMF field. When this goes on, EMF field, when it hits a noble gas, what it does is it excites the electrons in there and it creates something called plasma. Does anyone know what plasma is, by the way? No? Okay. Does anyone else know?
Only blood plasma.
Right, and do you know what blood plasma is? It's urine.
It's a clear liquid that everything
It's
flows
urine.
in.
It's urine.
Is it?
Blood plasma is urine, yes. Actual urine. That's what it's medically called. True.
I'm
So-
donating it
I'm
on
not even joking.
BGN.
Not even joking. So when the red light comes on, this looks all funny. What's created is not a solid, not a liquid, not even a gas. Because we've been lied to at school, so many lies out there. There is another state of matter called plasma, and it's in between a gas and a liquid. And what it does is it's extremely negatively charged. So when this comes on, there's an extreme amount, I know you guys will know this, there's an extreme amount of negative ions. And I know some of you know about grounding, earthing, eating fruits and vegetables, all these things, and clean water, they add a load of negative ions. And actually the air that we're breathing in outside, that's negative ions too. So when this comes on, one of the reasons, it's not even the whole reason, is you're blasted through your body with negative ions. And like I told you before, I feel it from 2 meters away. the client or the person on the armpits gets blasted and grounded. I call it grounding on steroids because it's not just grounding a few electrodes, it's like a load all at once. It's really amazing. And actually, I call it grounding on steroids because you're not just blasting yourself with grounding negative ions, you're doing something else, which is really important. You're not just blasting yourself with good, you're killing disease. It's like a double hunter. Because if you just ground, you're just getting negative ions. The ground doesn't know what's wrong with you, so it just gives you something good. This gives you something good, and because you've just chosen the disease that's your issue, you're blasting yourself with the same thing that the bad thing thinks it's them, it gets inside it and pops it. So that's why I call it grounding on steroids. So when Rife invented his machine, the 1933 microscope, it would work, get this, his ray tubes would work through 15 inches of concrete. I don't actually know in my head, guys, what 15 inches of concrete is, but it sounds like a lot.
It's over a foot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
foot
that,
and
yeah.
Foot and a third.
How much is that Anton, like this?
No.
It's smaller.
Okay, so
I think looking at this pillow. Maybe, right?
It's about
Can you
as long as
imagine
the
that?
machine.
So can you imagine something that goes through that? He'd prove it. He'd go and put 15 inches of concrete, microorganism, and blast it through. That's why I can feel those tubes from a distance. It's radiating out, but the client gets the most benefits from it. And it's not even that. So all Rife machines have a thing where it goes on 90% or 50% of the time and it switches off very quickly. It's called gating, and there's a reason why Rife invented this, because what it does is your body kind of gets used to it if you put it on 100% of the time. So it needs, I think there's analogies I can think of, but I can't think of now, where you have something on too much, your body gets used to it and it stops being effective. So every now and again, it's a microseconds, it kind of turns itself off. And when it does this, it creates something else called scalar. Does anyone know what scalar is? Right, so scalar waves are a level of amazing frequency above Wi-Fi and all these negative frequencies. When we put scalar in the environment, our body doesn't resonate with the negative. It's so powerful to the positive, our body picks up on it. And basically, scalar is a great solution to the EMF problem we've got. We need to protect ourselves from the most dangerous things, from the most powerful things. And this is what Rife at the time didn't know about scalar. This is theory that resonates and makes sense since, because we know the power of these machines. So when it goes on and off, it creates scalar waves. So it's got infrared, it's got an extreme amount of negative ions going through it, and it's got scalar. And these are probably not even all, but the ones that I can explain to you now, the reasons why it's so powerful. So yeah, he went through all of the diseases, all of the frequencies, and as I told you before, to backtrack a little bit, he started getting hounded. And this took its toll on him. So in the 1940s and 1950s, he started drinking alcohol. And I've had conversations with some of you, I used to drink a lot myself. Alcohol is a destroyer of people. And he would, in the 1950s, apparently started drinking alcohol daily because he was so hounded and he was losing support. When he made the first big microscope in 1933, I'm trying to think now, my brain's gone. He had support, but as the years got on, his funds got taken away because the pressure from the outside world and all the corrupt industries started taking away all the things from him. And he started resorting to drinking, and he lost a lot of his passion, but other people tried to carry on his work, and he just carried on working hard in the background. He kept improving on the microscope, but it couldn't legally be used as it got better and better. So it would end up proving that it cured cancer and all these diseases, and it would just get shut down. And this was devastating to the man that spent his life long. In fact, with the picture, I'll just read out actually his last quote. I love this quote, and I think you guys have read it. Did you guys read the end quote, what he said about dying a pauper?
Sorry, still got one. Is it on this one?
Yeah, there's two of them though, so it shouldn't have to. Oh no, I've got it. It's okay. So, one of his quotes is, "Having spent every dime I earned in my research for the benefit of mankind, I've ended up a pauper." So, he is, and I'm glad I'm presenting this because I put a little seed hopefully in you today, he is the Tesla, which we all know.
Tesla, yeah.
He's the Tesla that we don't know. He was the same as Tesla. He was as genius and as mad as Tesla. He built upon Tesla's work. They were alive around the same time. He built upon it. Because Tesla made the plasma tube. So plasma where it came from. Remember I talked to you about this being plasma, force-it man? Tesla found about plasma. Tesla was the first person to invent the plasma tube, which you guys know, I think. You know the purple, do you know the thing where it goes purple and you put it in your hand and go, you can see a lightning? Does anyone here know that?
Like those balls, you know, we had them as kids.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
right, you put your hand in there.
And
And
they
then
go
you
like
like,
rays.
oh yeah,
Yes. So that's plasma,
Mhm.
and that was Tesla, but this is Rife. And actually, there's another quote I want to read out to you, because I just want to give you an impression of dedication. Can you pass that around? Because this was a dinner celebrating his microscope, and this was the kind of backing that Rife had at the time. He had backing from doctors, because what Rife would do smartly with the doctors is he'd go, well, I can prove to you the efficacy of my machine, because everyone has problems. They have family, uncles and aunties that've got problems. So the people that would fund him, before they knew about him, before they believed, he would help heal their parents or their uncles and their aunties, so they became believers and big fans of Rife himself. Did I pass this one around? So again, this is more of the papers, just proving how amazing, how open they were at the time. And here we go, I want to read this out as well. So one paper I've got says, this is 1929, the San Diego Union, local man bears wonders of germ life. And pictures of him. So I want to read out an article from the paper, the San Diego, November 3rd, 1925. This is in the national paper. I don't know if you guys can imagine. This I can't imagine this being out now. Rife is an expert in more lines than the average man has time to dabble in. He's an able bacteriologist, embryologist, electrical and scientific engineer, metallurgist, chemist, photomographer, and he plays with scientific crime detection. As a recreation, he takes to target shooting in terms of half-inch bullseyes. His chief enthusiasm, however, is the inquiry into the causes, agencies, and forms of disease, and it is in this enthusiasm that's caused him to develop his various pieces of apparatus and to refine them to an efficacy beyond all precedent. That, to me, is beyond all precedent because they used to promote him so heavily. But I was talking about 20s, 30s. As it went along, he got more and more depressed, more and more alcohol. I think his wife died in the 50s too, and he really loved her. So he started going down a spiral, and he relied on other people to keep sending his message and improving on the machine. Long story short, fast forward today, thank God, not all of his information is gone. However, we have lost some information, because we used to know there was proven studies where people come with eye problems and fixed in no time. And we used to know the frequencies, but so what I'm saying is some of the information has been lost, but I like to think, truthfully, a lot of it hasn't, because people have synthesized the information, some of the information, loads of information I present is obviously not me, is it? I've learned from other people. So they passed on the information on what he's done and built machines. We fast forward to today, and honestly, I can't lie, there's Rifes that are okay, and they do something, and there's Rifes that are good, and there's Rifes that are really good. And also there's Rifes that are really expensive. So you can buy a Rife, like a really expensive one for 50,000, I mean 20,000, 70, 80, and look, I'm not gonna lie, they're really good. I mean, the most expensive one I've used was I think 15, 20,000, and it's really good. But what I know, because I feel like I've been sent by God to send this mission to people, and again, it's not me, it's my friends that told me about it, is that this Rife, for the price that I paid for it, and the results I see and the people I give it to, is one of the best. The reason I connect the dots with grounding, which I've read in books, but I know it's like supercharged grounding, is because every client I've treated, I don't consciously look at people's face, nobody does, but we unconsciously read a face. So I put a client on that for half an hour, no more. That's the minimum to get the result, but sometimes I put them on for longer. But at least I put a client on for half an hour, I come back and look at their face. The first time I wasn't trying, I just said, wow, your face looks different. Colour comes back into the face. And so does colour comes back into someone's face the same when you ground for an hour or two, because negative ions put back colour in the face because they're opening up circulation because you've got too many positive ions going on. So I figured the dots, that's why this machine is supercharged grounding. It's putting negative ions back. Every client I treated, especially people who are unhealthy, if someone's really healthy, I can't really tell because they've got a good colour to the face. But someone comes to me with a machine, half an hour, colour back in the face. First thing. Someone comes with pain, often that doesn't completely disappear in one session, but way more than pharmaceutical drugs, way more than most things that we know. So I don't know, you want to share?
Yeah, I definitely felt, it was weird because it's been a few hours now, so straight after, it was a lot better.
Right.
Then it dipped off a bit, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh, it hasn't done anything. And then it came back up again.
How weird.
So I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
maybe it's not an immediate thing.
Yes, it's not.
Maybe it will take a little while.
Well done, and sorry, I mean, this is my first time presenting, by the way, guys, so forgive me, I don't know information, but I've read also, and this resonates, because I'm the same as you. I actually, when I tune in, and by the way, when you use the machine in a group, it's harder to tune in, so Sandy did an amazing job today. I really enjoyed keeping quiet and tuning in, but when I tune in, I can feel the frequencies in my body, like, vibrate for, like, at least 1 or 2 hours after. And so another reason, another benefit I forgot to say about this is, so there's the main wave that kills the disease, and actually all the Rifes now have something called a carrier wave, which is a radio frequency. And to explain that a little bit, it's like, in order for the frequency to hit harder, it needs a radio wave carrier wave, which is much higher. It's an audio carrier wave, and that's like a cruise liner taking the passengers. And when these two merge together, like it does in this machine, it creates new frequencies. So you're now dealing with the main frequency for that disease, you've got the carrier wave on, and now you're creating more frequencies which you can't calculate. It's the sum total of the two frequencies and intermixed. The best way to describe it is it's like a pond. What happens when you drop something big in a pond? Like a big stone, the ripple effect. And the ripple effect doesn't last in the moment. It lasts for many hours or even a sleep later. Just I can feel it in my body. It's so weird, like 2 hours after. It's why you went for a dip and an up. Because there's harmonics being created. It's called harmonics. I need to do way more research on this, guys. And it's mental. It's why we can't put down the reasons why life's so powerful to one thing. We've got scale up, we've got plasma, we've got harmonics, we've got new frequencies of waves being reverberated. It's just really mad. Like, but yeah, I've lost my chain of thought a little bit. So yeah, okay, long story short, this machine, for the price that I bought it, it's been a game changer. Like, from the first day I used it, my trauma is I think we all are, but I'm definitely not living in my body. I know that we are souls, because I can feel something inside my body that's not centered and grounded. It's like off to the side. And actually I think all trauma is created that way. And I think that's the gift God's given me. I'm so wonky that I know what's good, I can feel things. But the first day I used this machine, I think it was in the underground and stuff, and I was meditating, and I was like, wow, I'm so much more grounded and balanced. So, what I'd say is, this is great for physical health disease, and I'd love to take care of the world's physical health disease, but I don't have physical health issues, I'm okay. That's not the reason why I use it for me every day. I'm doing it more for my mental balance and clarity, and for whatever can put me back inside my body to feel a little bit more centered every day, and that machine covers me. So I feel, to me, it's a physical health device, it's a spiritual health device, it's a mental health device. And if you had to nail me, and I do a lot of things, you guys don't know me from Facebook, but I'm known to try everything and promote things that are really powerful, and I know a load of things about holistic health. But honestly, I'm not lying. If I had to say, people ask me, desert island, one thing I can take. I wouldn't even say what changed my life, the urine, I wouldn't even say that. I would actually, honestly, I'd say that. And that's the power of what we're dealing in, and that's the mission I present to myself. I would love everyone, I mean, yes, it's great to try it with me, but I can't be around in your life. My dream is to have everyone taken care of, physical, mental, spiritual. Buy one of these machines, have it in your house, have it for your family, treat yourselves. One of the main benefits I figured for me personally is, I'm sure we all agree, Lisa, you brought it up, the monkey mind.
Yeah.
We have the monkey mind, right? And that's all of us. We've got varying levels of monkey mind due to trauma and all these bad habits we've got. I know for a fact my monkey mind shuts down so much. Because I think the more outside your body and wonky you are, the more your monkey mind goes crazy. So your trauma basically debates whether you've got how much your monkey mind is. But it takes care of that, it puts you back in your body, your version. So I don't buy the idea that I'm physically healthy, I'm spiritually, mentally, I don't need this. Everyone's wonky to some degree. Yeah, it just makes your monkey mind, your concentration. So it's great. I'm looking at kids at school, studying, want to learn, ADHD people like myself. I guess I have ADHD. Yeah, it's an absolutely amazing machine. So sorry guys, I didn't play this video. I want to explain it first. So remember what I said about frequency, right? So you match the frequency and then it kills the thing. Well, all bridges, and this is something I only learned recently, and I'm pretty sure most of you don't know, when you make a bridge, all architects have to factor in that winds and thunderstorms and winds and thunder, like serious weather conditions, they can't resonate at the same frequency as the bridge. If any part of the bridge is the same frequency as the bad weather, you're going to have what is now a really famous YouTube clip of an actual bridge in the 1940s. And this happened. This happened in the 1940s, and I bet you've never seen anything like this. And this changed the architecture of all bridges, because it's all about, this is proof life is about freedom.
Tacoma Bridge, Washington, opened only a few months ago, was built at a cost of over $6 million. But misfortune overtakes the great structure. These are some of the most amazing pictures ever recorded by a newsreel. The actual collapse of the world's third largest suspension bridge. Only a 35-mile-an-hour wind is blowing, but this apparently sets up a rhythmic swinging of the bridge, which increases with each swing. Finally, the swinging road and the suspension cables give way and plunge into the water below. Fortunately, the only casualties were a car stalled on the bridge and a dog.
They start feeling tired and a detox reaction. So how I can tell this machine is really powerful is people will, and it's okay, they'll fall asleep or get really tired and doze off. Not always because they're tired before, it's because when you pop a parasite or kill it inside you, it goes into the bloodstream and makes you really tired. So the amount of people I've treated that get really tired and it's okay and fall asleep on a parasite program, it's unreal. This kills a lot of parasites. If you like parasite programs, it's got all of the list of all the parasites you've never thought of, like liver flukes, sheep flukes. It's a really good parasite program, and I make sure as well, another quick story, I thought I was really healthy, and I am really healthy. I've used this Rife a lot every day for years now. However, my friend thought intuitively to put me on program 909, which I think is single-celled amoeba. It's a very common one. So single-celled amoeba parasite. Now, this was in Costa Rica, really funny, and I thought, yeah, put me on the program, nothing's going to happen, I'm just going to feel good, get a load of negative ions. And he put me on 20 minutes, and I felt like death. I made a video on YouTube, I felt really bad, and it was the morning, and he made me go out, and I was like, bro, I don't want to go out in Costa Rica, out and about with people, I feel really shit. So I went out, we did our thing, and then in the night time, I went on the same program, and what happened? Half an hour, it knocked me out, passed out. You know when you've had real popping of parasites? I had one of those. And for the next few days, I had the same program, 909, as treatment. And do you know what? I remember, and I made it on the video, on day 4, oh my God, I came out of the hostel and I felt, you know guys, when you kill parasites, you feel amazing? Like when you take a really powerful
You probably do, Harry, we don't.
Yeah, you do.
I'll answer for everyone. No idea.
I remember on day 4, like after many, when finally, because I know, what's great about this is like, say you don't get, I had the detox reaction, feeling tired, day 4, no more problems, 909, same program, no falling asleep, no energy. So with a machine, I can be your doctor and you can be your doctor, because you're not getting reaction, so therefore you've just killed all the parasites. So day 4, killed all the parasites, no reaction, same one as before. I came out of the hospital and I was so present at the moment, which told me that parasites really do affect your ability to be here in the now, to be present. It's a lot of it's parasites. And second, when you kill a load, whatever, but this way is a great way, you awaken yourself to the true self. So, thank you very much for listening. I appreciate you.